Pray that God will bless that Bible college as a result of it. What else have we got here? Operation Eager Lion. Does anybody know anything about that? Operation Eager Lion. Where is it? Where is it? I had a story up here. I must have lost it. I don't know what happened. Anyway, let's start here. Here is an article on theblaze.com. The article's headline reads, "Would you incorporate bits of the machine world in your body if it meant never losing your phone?" When I did the Watchman video broadcast called "What is the Singularity?", I had this little theory in my mind, and I actually used my cell phone as an example. You know, and I did. I came from a surgical visit this morning, not me, somebody in the church, and this guy passed me in this, I don't know, $60,000 vehicle. Had on a nice suit and everything like that. He was driving down the road, and guess what he was doing? He was going. And I'm going, you're going to have a wreck. Okay? You're just like everybody else. I don't care how flashy you dress up. But anyway, the idea occurred to me that what if they took everything that these things represent, or these iPads here, and found a way to incorporate it into the human body. That was just a theory as far as I was concerned. Here's the article. Just last week, the Blaze brought you the story of the professional body piercer in New Jersey who embedded magnets into his wrist so that he could wear his iPod Nano like a bandless watch. Now researchers are taking the discussion of incorporating technology and human systems to the next level, begging the question, would you consider implanting a technological interface into your body? At the Conference on Human Factors and Computing Systems in Austin, Texas this week, researchers are discussing just this possibility. New Scientist reports that researchers have already checked to see if current technology would make this possible. The answer is yes, and here's a quote. "A button, an LED, and a touch sensor all function appropriately when embedded under the skin of a cadaver's arm. The team was even able to communicate transcutaneously," which means through the skin, "using a Bluetooth connection and charge the electronics wirelessly." That's the bottom line. New Scientist voices what you may be thinking about controlling a device simply by touching your skin. That it's creepy and there's no room. But listen, I'm gonna get to the cut to the chase here. Think about it. Think about how everybody, and if you go to a doctor's office or you're driving down the road or you go to any place in the world, what do you see? Everybody, we're hooked. When you go to a third world country like Kenya, you know what you see in Kenya with people who have very little food and the worst possible living conditions you can imagine? Do you know what you see? You see poor people with this. Okay? We're hooked on our electronic devices. And I promise you, they're working on a way to put this right inside your brain, right inside your body. You become the electronic device, don't you? And they make it sound like, see, you would be able to control your electronic technology but with your body. Would it work the other way around? The electronic technology would be able to control the human. Absolutely. Let's see here. And here's another one. EndOfTheAmericanDream.com. After the government microchips our soldiers, how long will it be before they want to put a microchip in you? Well, we've just pretty much answered that question. I think people are going to line up for this thing. I really do. You know my theory. You know what my theory is, and it's kind of really not a theory with me. I'm just reading the scripture here. Tim LaHaye sold this idea, and I don't know if you remember this. There was a movie. About, and Lori, and I appreciate that. I'm going to read that here in a minute. If you can give me a little bit more information on that on Eager Lion, I would appreciate it. But anyway, there was a movie that came out in the early 70s called The Thief in the Night. I don't know if you never saw it. It went around in all the churches. It was real hokey, but it had this idea of people being drugged, kicking and screaming to get a mark on their right hand or forehead, okay? And it was a barcode or something like that. The idea that when the beast takes over, that people are going to be, no, I don't want the beast to reign over me. I don't want that. I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think, according to Revelation chapter 13, that he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Think about the technology now that exists where you can actually pay with your cell phone. You can do electronic banking through here. You can do everything in the world with this little computer device right here in the palm of your hand. And what exactly is the mark of the beast? I don't know. Does technology play into it? I think so. Does biology play into it? I think so. And we just await to see what is actually going on. But they're asking the question. They're going to microchip all the soldiers. And so they're asking the question, would we be able to microchip human beings that are not soldiers? I think people are going to jump in. I think people are going to butt in line for this thing. Have you seen the line outside one of these electronic stores when some new thing is going to be released? People will go and camp out 3 days before this thing's going to be released just to be able to get first in line on these things. And I think that something is going to take place that is going to revolutionize humanity. It's going to change everything. There's going to be such a paradigm shift that people are going to almost kill one another to get it, not to run away from it. Here is another one. This is from a website. Scientists switch mouses' genes off and on with radio waves. Some laboratory mice were given specially engineered insulin-producing genes. These genes were then remotely activated using radio waves. And you know what? The idea that they call you tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, maybe we should start wearing tinfoil hats to deflect the radio waves. I mean, here is a story right here where they're saying they injected a mouse, they altered the gene of this particular mouse to produce insulin. They put the gene inside of this mouse, and then they used like a remote control to turn on and turn off the gene. Are you kidding me? This is where we live, right? This is beyond Star Trek. I had a buddy of mine in Germany for my birthday, and everybody, you can send the message to Jill, who is part of the Watchman community. You can send a message to Jill and tell her that I have not opened my birthday card yet. Okay? She sent me a birthday card, and I was going to open it and said, do not open till the 30th, so I haven't done it yet. But a guy sent me every episode of Star Trek The Next Generation on DVD. And, you know, I go back and I watch these things, and you know what? That was done in the 90s. The technology that is, I mean, just like right around the corner was not even conceived of during the 90s in a futuristic show. This is where we are right now. Let me read this thing about, you know, I didn't read that verse a while ago. I'm going to. You still got your Bible open to Isaiah. Good. Here's some information, and I appreciate people sending this to me. Operation Eager Lion. Think about that. Think about a lion being eager. Eager to do what? Devour. 19 nations participating in Eager Lion 12. Let me go back. Let me go back to the 90s when there was an operation similar to this in the Middle East, and it was an operation with the United States and Egypt and a bunch of other Arab nations doing joint military exercises, and it was basically what would happen if, let's say the United States got in some kind of little war in the Middle East. How would we do it? This was before September 11th, 2001. The operation was called Operation Bright Star. I get it. And involved 33 nations. I get it. Here we are with Operation Eager Lion. Operation Eager Lion 12. Australia, Bahrain, Brunei, Egypt, France, Italy, Iraq, Jordan, Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Lebanon, Pakistan, Qatar, Spain, Romania, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States. Okay? Operation Eager Lion. Joint task force military exercises going on in the Middle East. There's just one problem with this. We have Australia, Bahrain, Brunei, Egypt, France, Italy, Iraq, Jordan, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Lebanon, Pakistan, Qatar, Spain, Romania, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States. No Israel. Why wasn't Israel invited? Why weren't they part of the joint military exercises? Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, what else here? Dealt with that one. I dealt with, oh, here we go. I guess this is kind of good news. I like this one. This is from RT.com. U.S. judge blocks indefinite detention of Americans. A U.S. federal judge has temporarily blocked a section of the controversial National Defense Authorization Act that allows for the indefinite military detention of United States citizens. Good for the court system, or a federal judge. The article says in a 68-page ruling, U.S. District Judge Catherine Forrest agreed on Wednesday that the statute failed to, quote, pass constitutional muster because its language could be interpreted quite broadly and eventually be used to suppress political dissent. Thank you. It goes on to say there is strong public interest in protecting rights guaranteed by the First Amendment, Forrest wrote. According to CourtHouseNews.com, there is also a strong public interest in ensuring that due process rights guaranteed by the Fifth Amendment are protected by ensuring that ordinary citizens are able to understand the scope of conduct that could subject them to indefinite military detention. And finally, somebody got it. We're not just crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists that are making issues out of nothing. Let me say this concerning, I brought up the idea of these FEMA coffins. Everybody's seeing the FEMA coffins. FEMA coffins everywhere. Okay? Now, let me say this without you thinking that I am a front man for the Illuminati. Okay? Let's think semi-rationally for a second, and then I'm going to get back to this, and hopefully it'll all make sense. Okay? Federal Emergency Management Agency. They are assigned with a responsibility, and that responsibility is to be prepared for some sort of disaster. Now, those of us who carry conspiracy genes, okay, anytime that we see the government right now doing some